Hello everyone. We are actually going to continue from the last episode that we had. So in the last episode we had finished with the overall airport and what are the things involved in this, that 5 factors and everything we had discussed, especially on the data of the statistics and the assumptions which how the airport or the airline industry will be growing, right? So here we will be learning an important thing which is actually very basic, that is what is an airport. Everybody will be having some years back people would be saying, oh, I'm going to the aerodrome. As a child I used to listen it as aerodrum. So the idea was like an area where they have a lot of drums, very silly kind of thing, right? So the actual first time when I saw an airport was when my parents took to that place where we were about to receive somebody. So that is the first time I saw an airport. So whenever you have been asked what is an airport, you have to give them a brief understanding, because airport they will say, oh, that is a place where they go and take the flight and go. Very easy to say, but there are a lot of process involved in this thing. If you just see 1.2.1, okay, so in 1.2.1 the 28th page, you can just say that you see that you learned from that main functions of an airport were to provide landing, takeoff, parking, fueling and repairing of an aircraft. You know that, right? That is why that airside has been dedicated to. Again I will repeat: landing, takeoff, parking, fueling and repairing of an aircraft. Obvious, right? But although this statement is still correct today, that means it is correct. The air transportation industry has evolved so much that we need to have a closer look at this definition. That means it has developed a lot. It has actually developed in a wider fashion, that it is no more just a place where you go and take a flight and go. Ask yourself the following simple question: what is an airport? Again, what I have asked in the beginning. Take a minute or so, you think about it. Did you find it as a satisfactory answer? Your explanation of airport would be different from one other person. So you need to have a clear-cut understanding of this place called airport. So surprisingly enough, there is no official definition of the word airport, even though ICAO, that is International Civil Aviation Organization, ICAO, okay, this is a mother body of all aviation bodies. DGCA, Director General of Civil Aviation, is actually an Indian version of it, but ICAO is actually the mother body of all aviation functions. Okay, even ICAO does not define it, because airport is there, it updates itself, it actually has its own functions. It's not only giving good amenities to the passengers, but also to give protection to the overall scenario. Okay, it goes like that. Let us start from the obvious and work upward to a more comprehensive definition. Okay, simply gulping some words is not going to make a definition credible, right? Like if you are going to just understand by heart certain things, and then you're going to say during an interview, or like when you've been asked by a third person, like, do you know what is an airport? Airport, then you'll start talking like what you have read in the textbook. You should say in your own words, what is that? Let's see. Starting from the statement in the first paragraph of this unit, we can see that it addresses aircraft operations only. However, remember that the landside aspect of airports is as important as its airside. That means Let it be the land side, let it be the terminal side, or let it be the air side. These three areas, these three slabs are equally important. It actually gives the airport a smoothing experience. Like, we can't even understand what is happening. You just embark, that means you come to the airport gate, you just get down, you just move, you show your ticket, you go inside, you hand it over, and you won't even know that, oh, so many processes actually going inside. That's how beautifully our airports are converted today. Okay, so it goes like that. If you can just read the whole statement, there are a lot of things which is involved here. Like, we have a lot of amenities. For example, Delhi airport, you have the metro rail traveling inside the terminal building, and then parking in front of, stopping in front of the airport, the departure building. So that's how it has become convenient. And once you are getting inside, you have a lot of facilities. If you want to have a leisure time, they have that kind of amenities there. So how did it all develop? That has been mentioned here. Okay, so here we are going to see next few things are about the customers. Customers means the passengers who are actually taking the flights. Okay, there are certain things here which the customers are actually going through. These are the four things. First one is airlines. Second one is passenger. Third one is visitors, and fourth one is concessionaries. Okay. First one is airline. Airlines are the most visible and the important customers of the airport. That means airlines are the most visible and important customers of the airport. Means airline itself is actually a customer to the airport. That means airline gives revenue to the airport. You might be asking me why, because these things are these things are the same, right? I only told you that these airline and airport in the first video. I told you that this airline and airport are actually interconnected, even though they are different things. No, airline actually gives revenue to the airport. How? Let us take from the beginning itself. Airlines are taking the space of airports, like the ticketing counter, the check-in desk, the kiosk. Kiosk machine means the automatic boarding pass vendor. Like, you just type your PNR, it will give you the boarding pass. So it is using, airlines are using lot of amenities inside the airport. So by default, that means automatically it is a customer who is actually using all this, using all these areas of the airport. So the airport has to give rent, the airline has to give rent to the airport. Okay, so that is one thing. Now, in order to cater to their passengers, that means I'm talking about airlines, okay. In order to cater their passengers and freight, airlines need many facilities normally provided and maintained by the airport. Runways. Now we are going to the air side. Air side, when the flight lands, okay, flight lands and goes to the bay. Bay, B-A-Y. Bay is an area where the flight stops. And for getting the passengers out, that is the disembarkation process, deboarding process, and also boarding the process. It may stay there for 2 or 3 hours. So they charge on per minute basis. So automatically a customer using the facility, giving the money to the owners, that is the airport. So it becomes a thing like that. Not only that, hold area, office space, baggage processing rooms, electricity they use, everything will be charged by the airport. Okay, so it goes like that. And then you have the technical area, the storing of fuel, maintaining the aircraft, to GSC. GSC means a machine. When the aircraft is on the ground, it is not, the engine is not on. So when the engine is not on, it needs to keep the air conditioning on. So it actually brings an artificial power generation unit, and it actually plugs it into the aircraft. So when it plugs it into the aircraft, it actually generates power. So who is providing the electricity and these equipments? Airport. So airlines here automatically becomes like a customer. Here customers are not only passengers, but also the airline is also a customer to the airport. Okay, it goes like that. There is an interrelationship between the airline and the airport complex. See, if you can see here, this thing here, the fees and the rent is being given airline and the passenger airport operator. Okay, the passenger is actually giving the airfare to the airline, and the airline is giving the fee and rent to the airport operator, and the airport operator give the service to the passengers. See, it is actually a triangle of services given by the passenger, airlines and the airport operator. Okay. There are many things which has been written here, like there are different paragraphs. I'm not getting into it. You can read it, and if there is a doubt, you can ask me. Okay. Now we have the passengers. Passengers, as we have been discussing, the people like you and me taking ticket and traveling. Passengers are customers of the airlines. So far we discussed airlines becoming the customer of the airport. Now passengers are the real customer of the airlines. Passenger is not the customer of the airport. Okay, passenger is not directly connected to the airport. Yes, obviously you can say like, okay, if I had some food from a food stall and it was like bad, you can complain it to the airport authority. You cannot complain it to the airline. But here we are solely talking about the passenger relying on the airline for their traveling experience. Passengers are customers of the airline for the purpose of being transported by air between 2 points. Obviously, you take from a flight from an A point, they will transport you to the B point, like that. So what are the facilities they use? Directly when using airport roads, parking lots, washing rooms, lounges. Obviously, as I told you in the previous video, they use the UDF, Users Development Fee, right? So they use that thing. So why they are giving that thing, that percentage of money to the airlines? Because you are using the facilities, no? It is not free of cost, right? And then indirectly, what is the things the passengers use? Through the use of concessions, like if in bigger airports, they have bars and restaurants and shops. You go, khadi shops are there, and like Archie's, like any shop that nowadays airports are like malls, like you have all the shops inside. So it goes like that. Everything from food to everything they use are actually being offered by the airlines. Airlines also have a deal in that. Okay, now we are talking about the visitors. People who are not flying, but they have to be there till, for example, like, okay, your father or your uncle or your mother, someone is flying to an abroad country or taking a domestic flight. You don't feel like leaving, especially as Indians, we are very much attached. So what we will do, we will park the car and we'll wait outside till they board the flight. Okay, in India only we have this in large numbers, like having a visitors gallery and all those things. So there are 3 types of visitors approaching the airport. A, greeters and well-wishers, people meeting arriving passengers or seeing off departing ones. Obviously, arrival hall, when you exit, there will be like a lot of drivers and a lot of people. There might be dignitaries who will be coming, so they will put this thing and they'll put a board. Okay, like Vishal, okay, Mr. Vishal, please come. Like they might be paging for them. So these people are visitors. B is people who come to the airport for business purposes. They might be having a contract. They might be visiting the airport to meet the airport authority for some purpose, or meeting the heads of the airport, the airline manager for something. So those people are called as business purposes. People who come for business purposes. C, people who come to the airport as simple visitors for the sole purpose of watching the aircraft or general airport activities. Some people just simply visit. They just come, they just come and just to see airport, like where the flight takes off. They might be coming from a remote area, village area. They want to come and see how it is. They might also come. But previously they had this option of seeing the flight take off and all those things. But now, because of heightened security, there is no option like that. Okay, the number of non-passengers using the airport can be considerable, and it has two types of effects on the airport. They occupy space in the terminal building, in parking lots and in on roads. See, as I told you, right? Because they occupy a lot of space and a lot of congestion, they just come to see the crowd. Before and all, like in the 90s, we had this problem, but now we don't have that thing, because people don't gather in an airport just like that. Only people who are concerned, like I'm coming to drop my friend or pick up my friend, only those people will be coming visiting the airport. This is actually an old problem as of now. Yeah. So now we will come to the last last category of customers, concessionaries. Concession means giving a slab of free allotment. Let us see who is getting these things. Airports have other important customers catering to the needs of passengers, visitors and employees. We call them concessionaries. Typical examples are restaurants, bars, specialty shops, newspaper stands, foreign exchange counters. They occupy leased space in the terminal building. Although several types of arrangements exist, the airport will normally provide unfinished space. It is up to the tenants. That means these concessionaries are actually people who are being given the space for commercial activities. In normal words, concession means a slab of giving them some kind of free thing. Here it is not like that. Concessionary means giving them the proper commercial space for giving the passengers an amenity. Restaurant is an amenity, bar is an amenity, specialty shops. Specialty shop means like maybe, let us see, maybe Amazon doesn't have a counter, but imagine Amazon is having a counter inside a busy airport. It is not for their sale, just for a window shopping experience. And newspaper stands, newspaper stalls will be there. And then they have foreign exchange counters. Very important of all these concessionaries is foreign exchange counters. Very important, because foreigners who are coming, they need to convert their dollars, euros, or bahats here, or their any kind of currency they are having in their hand. So these things are all important, and they have long-term agreements with the airport operator specifying the amount of rent or the concession fee. See, again, these things are given the concession here just because they give these things are very important categories in an airport. Because without these things, without restaurant, can you imagine an airport? Even Calicut Airport, it's a small airport, right? Even a Calicut Airport, can you imagine a Calicut Airport without restaurants? Where will they eat? All people are not like having their food and coming, right? For example, people who are visiting, they want a cup of tea, cup of coffee. What they will do? They will have to do something, right? They will have to have it at least outside the airport also. What if that is not available? That is why these kind of things are given there, slots are given, but the concession has also been provided for that. and it goes like that. Okay, so today we will wind up this class, and in the next class we will again go to the next leg of this concessionaries, like tenants and all those things. Tenants, the people who are actually people, on a contract basis, setting up their shops inside the airport. Okay, so thank you for listening. Namaste.